Okay, let's get into this. Welcome to our deep dive. This is where we take the source material you give us, notes, articles, whatever, find the core info, and really unpack what it means.
Exactly. And today, it looks like we're digging into some recent Google news about their AI plans,
Right.
specifically updates on VO3, that's their video tool, and also some key details on watermarking. And we're
Ooh.
sticking just to the info in these documents you provided.
Perfect. Just what's here on the page. So Google's made some moves, and the first thing that seems pretty clear from the sources is they're changing names around.
That's right, yeah. The material confirms what used to be AI Premium. That's changing.
Okay.
It's now called Google AI Pro.
Got it. AI Premium becomes AI Pro, and this was announced recently, like at their developer conference, Google I/O.
Yes, the sources mentioned Google I/O. And, alongside that Pro rebranding, they also rolled out a new higher tier.
Ah.
There's called the Google AI Ultra plan. Seems like that's for folks wanting, the top-end AI features.
Okay, so Pro and Ultra, those are the main tiers we're seeing in these sources. Now, the big thing for a lot of people will be VO3, the video generator. The articles say AI Pro members get access today.
They do, but here's where it gets a bit specific, based on the text.
Okay.
For those AI Pro subscribers, the ones using the Gemini mobile app, their VO3 access is called out as limited.
Unlimited.
It actually specifies a 10-pack of trial video generations. And the sources also mention Pro members get, quote, limited access to VO3 in Flow.
Flow. Right. The sources describe that as Google's new tool for making like 1080p cinematic videos with AI.
Exactly. So Pro users get this trial, this sort of limited experience.
Since what about the Ultra members then, according to these articles?
Well, the way it's written, it implies that if you want more than that limited Pro access, the Ultra plan is probably the way to go for, more extensive VO3 use, especially in that Flow tool.
Right, the higher tier gets more stuff that tracks. And speaking of Ultra, didn't the sources say it's expanding geographically?
It is, yeah. The material points out the AI Ultra plan is now available in the UK,
Oh, interesting.
which brings the total number of countries up to 73, according to that.
73 countries. Okay. So Ultra's reach is growing, and these sources link it to maybe better VO3 access, particularly in Flow. Now let's shift from access to the actual output. Watermarking.
Yeah.
Huge topic for AI stuff. Google's adding visible watermarks, the sources say.
Yeah, that's presented as pretty standard policy.
Yeah.
To identify the AI content, a visible watermark will be applied.
There's a catch, isn't there? The articles mention an exception.
Yes, definitely a notable one mentioned in the text. It says the only time the visible watermark is not applied
Yeah.
is if you're an AI Ultra member and you made the video using the Flow tool specifically.
Wow, okay. That's a pretty big difference based just on your subscription and which tool you used. So Pro members, even on their trial runs, get the visible watermark.
Seems so.
But Ultra members using Flow, they apparently don't get that visible mark.
But what's interesting, and the sources are very clear on this bit,
Okay.
is that regardless of that visible mark, or lack of it, all the AI-generated content, no matter the plan or tool,
Uh-huh.
will still have Google's invisible Synthy watermark embedded in it.
Right, that's their tech for the hidden digital signature you can't see.
Exactly. So that invisible layer is always there. But the visible one, that seems to depend entirely on being an Ultra member using Flow.
It really highlights how they're setting up these tiers, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Based on the text, it's not just features, but maybe control over how the output looks. It's public AI label.
Exactly.
Okay, let's try and pull this all together just from these sources. 1, AI Premium is now AI Pro.
Check.
2, VO3 access is tiered. Pro gets a limited trial, like 10 goes in Gemini, plus limited access in Flow. Ultra seems needed for more serious use.
Right, that's how it reads.
3, visible watermarks are standard on AI video unless you're an Ultra member using Flow, but the invisible Synthy is always there.
Always there, yeah.
And finally, the Ultra plan is now in the UK, reaching 73 countries.
Yep. Those are the key takeaways from the material provided. And it matters, because it shows Google building these really distinct levels for its AI tools.
Yeah.
It's not just about power, but practical things, like limits and how the content is marked. That affects who can really use these tools deeply and maybe how their creations are seen.
So thinking about what this means for you, the listener, here's maybe a final thought, just based purely on what we've read here. Why might Google decide to skip the visible watermark only for its top-paying users when they use a specific premium tool? What could that signal about who they see using these tools for different purposes? Definitely something to chew on as you encounter more AI content out there.